Welcome to this third formatting tutorial. We're going to see how to take care of the table of contents for clarity in everyday life. So what we have done initially, we have transferred all the text from the French version into our template. And so if you see here, we have note to the second edition, introduction, editor's introduction, and then all the chapters, chapter 1, chapter 2, and so on, all in French. And the table of content for clarity in everyday life is quite elaborate. So we have here the note to the first edition, then the editor's introduction, then we have section by section, section 1, section 2, section 3, section 4, and section 5, and then at the end we have balance view resources here. So at the beginning of every section there's a mini table of content. For example, now here the first chapter starts on page 2, and just before page 2 we'll have a mini table of content that summarize all the chapters in section 1. So basically this part that I have highlighted here, we find it with a slightly different order right here before chapter 1. And what we can do, we can copy the chapters and their subtitles directly from the table of content. The only thing we might want to adjust manually is this part. So we might want to write here section 1 in French and the basics of clarity in everyday life in French, and then this other part here we're going to copy from the table of content. And then when we go down to section 2, we're going to do exactly the same here. Here's section 2, and it would be nice to have it in one page instead of having this little bit here. We just can change the margin slightly. Let's see if we can do it. Page layout, page setup, I guess just change slightly the top margin, and I put, I don't know, let's see, 2.40, and it's only applied to the selected section here. So let's see if I press OK. No, it's still not enough, but we can try more. Let's try again. Let's do also the bottom one, 2.40. Yeah, you see it's gone in the same page. Okay, so again here, this part we're going to copy from the table of content, and this one we just adjust manually. So let's go down back to the table of content, and what we're going to do, here it is, we're going to duplicate it. So I just start from right at the end of the table of content here, from I put my pointer here just before note to the second edition, and I go up with the mouse and I just copy the whole thing, only making sure I just include clarity in everyday life. I press here the paragraph mark, and so I can see that it didn't include anything. It didn't include the section break, for example, here that comes after clarity in everyday life. So I'm going to do it again, just very quickly. I copy, and then I go back. We put my pointer right here at the beginning of note to the second edition, and I just do paste. And now this little section here that comes out, I can just press enter. I'm going to show you. Here there's this page break or section break. just put my pointer right in the middle and press enter. So it was a section break, it was going a little bit off the page. Now it's fine. So I go in the middle of my second table of content. The first one I will use as a reference, so that I know how to adjust my new table of content. And I press F9. When I press F9, normally I have the choice to update either the page numbers or the whole table. But in this case probably it will not happen because the code is a little bit changed, elaborated. So I'm going to press F9, and it already changed the whole thing, adjusted the page numbers, and now you see it got not della seconda edizione. It fed directly from the headings. That's why all the headings have been styled with style 1 and style 2, heading 1 and heading 2, heading 3, because here the table of content feeds directly from those styles and reproduce them in the table of content. So the only thing that I notice is that if I compare this note to the second edition here, introduction to the editor, and you see here the instinctive recognition of open intelligence, it should be not in capital letters, but like here, with only the initial in capital letters. And also the subtitles here, they should be not all in capital letters, but like this, like signs of assurance, so only the initial. The reason why they appear in capital letters is because they have been written in capital letters, so I have to go and correct it. So I just will go to note to the second edition, and I will correct it, and then I will update the table of contents again. So here, note to the second edition, only the initial of every letter apart from the small ones like de la should be in capital. So I'm just gonna write it in small cap. Note de la seconde edition. And the same should be for introduction de l'éditeur. So I'm just gonna go up now to my second table of contents here, and I will update it again. I press F9. You see now that it gives me the option to update page numbers only or the entire table. I'm going to choose the entire table, and you see that now only the initial is in capital letters, as it is in the the first table of content. It represents our reference. And so just looking at the way the first table of contents is, I can see here that after section 1 there's a semicolon, so I'm gonna add it. And now, before I do the final adjustments, I'm gonna copy the chapter 1, 2, and 3 and use this for the extension of the table of contents that is at the beginning of section 1. So normally what we do here is we put just a semicolon in between these subtitles, and so that they take less space. We just do like this. We go at the end of the first, here's a little subchapter title. I'm going to show it a little bit bigger. We put a semicolon and a space, and then we press cancel, and so on. We do it again on the following one, semicolon, space, cancel, and so on, so that it's a little bit more compact. You'll see how it is on the other table of contents, the one we use as a reference. But before doing that, now I'm just going to do arrow back, arrow back, arrow back. Before doing that, this is the right time to copy chapter 1, 2, and 3, the one that belongs to section 1. I copy them and I put them in the extended table of contents here at the beginning of section 1. And what I do, again, I make sure I have the paragraph mark on. I put my pointer right here. I do a couple of spaces so that I just keep it there for the moment, and I paste my 3 chapters. And I know that now I have the old ones as a reference so that I can amend the one that I have here, the new ones in French. I see that there is a chapter 1 before the title, so I will have to copy and paste it in. I'm just going to copy now and put it here and paste it right here. And it will have to be in French. Obviously it will have to be chapter 1 in French here, and then here chapter 2, in French. Also the word chapter has to be different, and here as well chapter 3 in French. And that's it. Once you've done that, and it should all be correct, and I can cancel the reference that I had here. I just highlight it all the way down apart from the page break, and I cancel it. So obviously once you have adjusted the subtitles, this one that now appears in capital letters will be exactly as they are here. So okay, and now if you need to duplicate a section, you just copy the whole page here, and you copy it and you paste it where section 2 has to go, so you will be able to have it. Now let's go back temporarily to the table of contents and see that all we need to do here is make it exactly the same as our reference one. So as we saw before, after we have adjusted the titles and made them in the correct case, then we can just do what we've done before: semicolon, space, cancel, semicolon, space, cancel, all the way through for the subtitles. And then we make sure that we have enough spacings from one section to the other. So you see now section 2 goes into a new page. So we'll see, probably we will have to add a space here to make sure that section 2, there's enough room between section 1 and section 2 graphically. And the same here, section 3 and section 4. Say for example here, I can maybe press enter. I'm going to press enter so I have enough space from the sections. And that's it. Once we've done it, then we can cancel the reference, the table of contents that we're using as a reference, and we're ready. Just remember that every time you update the whole table, the order will be lost. So you just want to update page numbers, or maybe if you have changed the title, you just go and change it, you type it directly in the table of contents as well, instead of updating the whole table. And that's it. All we had to see has been seen, and see you soon.